In a busy city full of lights, cars, and tall buildings, lived two very different men. Everyone knew one as the rich dad and the other as the poor dad. Both had sons about the same age. They went to the same school, played in the same park, and even shared some friends. But their lives and future paths were very different because of the lessons they learned at home. The rich dad had money beyond imagination. He owned businesses, big houses, expensive cars, and could buy anything his son wanted. If the boy asked for a new bike, he could buy 10. If he wanted a vacation, he could travel anywhere in the world. But there was one thing missing: time. The father was always busy in meetings, signing deals, and making money. He gave his son money but not the guidance to use it wisely. On the other hand, the poor dad didn't have much money. He worked a normal job, came home tired, and sometimes struggled to pay the bills. But he had something even more valuable: time, love, and wisdom. Every evening he would sit with his son and teach lessons about life, hard work, honesty, and understanding money. One afternoon, the two boys were walking home from school together. The rich dad's son pointed at a shiny new bike in a shop. "Wow, that bike is amazing," he said. "Do you want it?" asked his friend. "Yes. But even if my dad buys it, I won't know how to earn it myself. I won't feel proud of it," he said. Meanwhile, the poor dad's son had been eyeing the same bike. He didn't have enough money, but his father said, "Son, if you want that bike, let's find a way for you to earn it. You can help neighbors, save money from small jobs, and learn to manage it." The boy worked hard. He mowed lawns, delivered groceries, and saved every penny. After a few weeks, he bought the bike himself. That moment, when he rode it for the first time, he felt a pride he could never buy. The rich dad's son watched him and thought, "I have money for everything, but I have never felt this proud. I wish I could learn what he learned." Rich dad often said, "Son, you can have everything you want. Money will buy it. But life lessons, they cannot be bought." This part of the story teaches us something very important. Being rich is not only about money. It's also about knowledge, hard work, independence, and learning how to make your own way. Rich dad's son often felt lost because he had no guidance. Poor dad's son understood early that learning how money works and how to earn it yourself is more valuable than any toy or gadget. Another lesson comes from observing their daily lives. Rich dad's son had instant happiness when he received things, but it didn't last. Poor dad's son had to wait and work, but the joy he felt was deeper and long-lasting. As the boys grew older, their differences became clearer. The rich dad's son had everything he wanted: cars, gadgets, clothes, trips, and more. But he began to feel something strange. Despite all the money and things around him, he often felt confused and worried. One day, he tried to start a small business with the allowance his father gave him. He thought it would be easy, but it wasn't. He spent more than he earned, made mistakes, and ended up frustrated. He realized he didn't understand money. He didn't know how to save it, invest it, or make it grow. Meanwhile, the poor dad's son was learning something different. Every evening, his father would sit with him and teach simple lessons about money. "Son, an asset is something that makes money for you. A liability is something that takes money away. Always try to buy assets, not liabilities. Save money, invest, and think long-term." The poor dad's son started small. He bought a second-hand bicycle and offered delivery services in the neighborhood. Every penny he earned, he saved some, spent some, and reinvested the rest. Soon, he bought a few tools, expanded his work, and began to earn even more. One afternoon, the rich dad's son asked him, "How can you be so happy with so little money? I have more than you, but I feel lost." The poor dad's son replied with a smile, "I don't have much, but I understand it. I know how to make my money work for me. You have money, but you don't know how to grow it. That's why you feel lost over time." Both boys learned important lessons. The rich dad's son realized that money alone cannot give happiness or security. He had to learn how money works. The poor dad's son realized that financial freedom comes from learning, planning, and making smart choices. The poor dad also taught him about risk. "Son, don't be afraid to take risks," he said. "But smart risks. Don't gamble. Learn first, start small, and grow steadily." Money will grow when you make it work, not when you spend it blindly. He also shared a very important lesson. Most people work for money. The rich make money work for them. That is the difference. The rich dad's son watched carefully and started to feel that he had missed many lessons. He began asking questions. How do I invest? How do I make money grow? How do I not lose it all? The poor dad's son answered, start small. Buy things that increase in value. Learn to save before spending. Always have a plan. By now, the boys were learning that being rich is not about having things. It's about understanding money, making it grow, and using it wisely. Another lesson they learned: patience. Real wealth doesn't come overnight. It comes from consistent learning, saving, investing, and making smart choices. The poor dad's son knew that small actions repeated every day lead to big results. The rich dad's son realized that he needed more than money to succeed. He needed knowledge, guidance, and practical skills to handle his wealth. Years passed, and the two boys became young men. Both had experiences, both had money, but their understanding of life was very different. The rich dad's son had everything he could wish for: luxury cars, expensive clothes, the latest gadgets, and a big allowance. Yet, he often felt lost and unsure. Despite having money, he didn't know how to make it grow or how to use it wisely. Sometimes he felt that all the wealth around him was empty because he lacked guidance and knowledge. The poor dad's son, however, had fewer things at first. He had worked hard, saved wisely, and learned to make small investments. Over time, he started businesses, invested in tools and property, and built assets. More importantly, he had confidence, independence, and a sense of pride. He knew how to handle money, make decisions, and take calculated risks. He was not rich in material things alone. He was rich in knowledge and freedom. One day, both families met. The fathers and sons sat together and shared their experiences. The rich dad's son admitted, "I had everything I wanted growing up: money, toys, trips. But I feel empty. I never learned how to make money work for me. I spent it, but I didn't grow it. I feel lost." The poor dad's son smiled and said, "I had less at first, but I learned from my father. I worked hard, saved, and invested smartly. I learned patience and discipline. Now I feel independent and free. Money works for me, not the other way around." The rich dad and poor dad also realized something important. They saw that real wealth is not measured by money alone. True wealth is a combination of knowledge, guidance, smart financial choices, patience, hard work. The fathers understood that their lessons, whether through giving money or teaching responsibility, shaped their sons' futures. One son had wealth without understanding. The other had understanding, which allowed him to build real wealth over time. The rich dad's son learned an important truth. Money is useful, but without knowledge, it cannot give freedom. True wealth comes from learning, investing, and thinking smartly. The poor dad's son reflected on what his father had always said: "Money should work for you. Don't work only for money. Learn, invest, and make your money grow." That is the real path to freedom and happiness. The story ends with a simple but powerful lesson for everyone. Money alone does not make someone rich. Understanding money, making smart choices, and investing wisely are what lead to true financial freedom. Patience, hard work, and knowledge are more valuable than instant wealth. Learning financial lessons early in life changes your future. Final message for voiceover. Remember, no matter how much money you have, true wealth comes from knowledge, patience, and smart decisions. Learn how money works, invest in yourself, buy assets instead of liabilities, and always make your money work for you. That is what makes a person truly rich and free.